Oh, there's John. Hey, John.
Hi, John.
Hey, everyone. We have a full turnout tonight.
It's been a while, right?
About every other meeting.
There she is. Hi, Nancy. You're muted.
Sorry about that.
Hi, Nancy.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. We are all here. So we can call to order the April 27th, 2022 Lafayette Design Review Commission meeting. We'll start with the roll call. Glenn Cass,
Present.
Kristen Seidel,
Present?
Eugene Sim,
Here.
and Armin Hedlu,
Here.
and John Gray is here. We have an agenda in front of us. Do we have a motion to adopt or amend the agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor? Glenn,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Armin,
Aye.
Eugene,
Aye.
and John is aye. Moving on to public comments for items not on the agenda. Nancy, is there anyone in the public who is waiting to comment on items within our purview, but not on today's or an upcoming agenda?
If anyone has any comments on items not on the agenda, please use the raise hand function or press *9. I'm not seeing any.
Okay, thanks, Nancy. Next, we have our consent calendar. The first item is review of the draft meeting minutes of March 9th, 2022. And at that meeting was Glenn, Armin, and myself. So
I'll make a motion to adopt.
And a second.
Great. All in favor, Glenn,
Aye.
Armin,
Aye.
and John is aye. So thank you. Next item on the consent calendar is regarding the Forkosh house at 3326 Vaughn Road. The request and recommendation is to continue it to the date of June 6th, 2022.
I'll make a motion to have the continuance.
I can second it.
Thank you. All in favor, Glenn,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Armin,
Aye.
Eugene,
Aye.
and John says aye. Moving on, we don't have any study sessions or continued public hearings this time. So our next, hold on for one moment. I need to unplug something.
Oh, that was not a real bad.
We have visitors in another part of the house tonight, and the doorbell doesn't need to be interrupting us. We have a new public hearing this evening for the house owned by Gilman and Fleming at 1787 Ivanhoe Avenue. So Nancy, would you start your presentation?
Okay. Good evening, Commissioners. The item before you is HCP 3621 for Gilman and Fleming, proposing renovation and additions to an existing 2,800 square foot, one-story or basement garage, single-family residence at 1787 Ivanhoe Avenue. I want to make a correction that I had noted 2 stories in my staff report. It's actually 1 story over a garage. The property is about an acre, zone R20, and within the Hillside Overlay District. There's a property just south and adjacent to the subject lot. It's held in common ownership, but it is undeveloped and not proposed for development, and that lot is here, and it's approximately 2 acres. The project requires hillside development, design review, and grading permits to construct 2,800 square feet in 1-story additions at vertically and towards the rear and partially on the side. Here are some photos of the existing conditions, the front, the corner since Ivanhoe wraps around, and then the side. Here's the existing footprint with the shaded additions on and around the building envelope and the location of the non-protected tree that's proposed to be removed in order to construct this addition in the rear. The project includes about 85 cubic yards of earth movement, some minor driveway reconfiguration for a carport underneath this porte cochere, and then expansion of the driveway towards here. These are proposed elevations. The result would be an approximately 5,600 square foot, 2-story over basement garage that will be approximately 33 feet tall to the midpoint of the tallest roof. And here are the proposed color and material. They're proposing shingles in amber color for most of the roof, corrugated metal over the dormers, pavers at the rear instead of their gravel and asphalt driveway that's currently there, and a gray, a light gray on their siding. Their siding of the upper floor and the lower floor are different. The upper floor is batten and board, and the lower, I believe, is vertical siding. They're also proposing window trim that's white and some black aluminum clad fenestration for the windows and their doors. Staff recommends adopting resolution 2208, approving the project with standard conditions. Overall, staff can make the findings and recommends some reconsideration of maybe the dormer roof material and adding a tree along the front of the home if feasible, considering there's very little space at the front to screen between the neighbor across on Ivanhoe. And I just want to also bring up that the incorrect conditions of approval were added in the resolution, but overall it's just the standard conditions. So there's nothing specific for the project unless the design DRC decides to require the roof change material and the tree planting. But the commission can decide to continue this to the consent calendar to review the corrected conditions of approval, or just direct staff to update the conditions of approval for the resolution number and the record number. That concludes my presentation.
Thanks, Nancy. Commissioners, questions for Nancy?
Yeah, I have one question. The staff report said something about a ADU was approved under a separate, where's the ADU being constructed?
It is on the northern, let me see if I can show. It is on this portion behind the pool.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question, Nancy. Your report indicates, and then the drawings show that there is non-compliant setbacks going all the way to 0 at the one corner. And but it doesn't appear that way when you're there, of course, because the public right-of-way extends into what appears to be the private lawn area around the house.
That's correct.
So a couple of questions in that regard. Is the applicant invited to plant and landscape in the public right-of-way?
If they were to plant in the right-of-way, they are subject to an encroachment permit and approval by Public Works.
So the potential tree screening that you suggest, would that be in the public right-of-way?
No, it would be on their property.
It would, okay. And then I also noticed their plans depict parking in their driveways, which is in the public right-of-way. Is that, does this meet the required off-street parking?
They do, if they were to park on the interior of the lot. The carport itself is outside the setbacks, and they have sufficient room for open air parking at the rear.
Can you show us a site plan and describe what you're seeing?
Sure. So this is the driveway. The carport is here with the new parking space underneath the addition. And then there's parking here. And technically non-complying in terms of parking size in their garage.
Okay,
But
but with the new work that is proposed, they would meet all requirements?
That's correct.
Thank you. Any other questions for Nancy? Okay, then Nancy, you can you may invite the applicant to do their presentation. And the applicant has up to 10 minutes.
Hi, everybody. Can you guys see us?
I think your screen may just be about to turn on. So there we are. Yes, we do. Good
Hello.
evening.
Hi. So my name's Erin Fleming. This is my husband, Jason Gilman. Yeah, so thanks for having us today. I guess we'll tell you a little bit about ourselves. We both grew up in Berkeley, and we are high school sweethearts that have 3 kids. I'm an emergency room nurse. My husband's a contractor. We have 3 kids who are 9, 7, and 4. And we bought this property
a little over a year ago.
We were looking to move through the tunnel and just fell in love with Lafayette. I mean, I know we've been in close proximities our whole lives, but didn't get to spend a ton of time over here. And so when we started to look to buy a house, really fell in love with this area. And then our house on Ivanhoe was just a dream. It's like this magical property that we feel so fortunate to have. And we really wanted a community and to be part of this great city that you guys have. And part of what drew us so much to this property was the neighbors. So we have across the street, there's a family with girls about the same age as our girls. And then on the other side, there's boys around the same age as our youngest son. And they just welcomed us with open arms as soon as we bought our property there. And we have this really kind of like ownership of all of us taking care of our kids together, which is just something that I never thought I could have. So on top of just making and building a house, we feel so fortunate to be a part of this wonderful community that we have, which is really the silver lining to all of this. So I don't know what else you guys want to know about us, or what else I should be sharing with you guys. But
well, if focusing on the house, I guess, is there anything you would like to add to what Nancy said regarding what you propose to build?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think she was pretty spot on. I think the biggest part is that we're just trying to keep the house in the integrity and history of same style of the house that we purchased, and kind of make it, inclusive in the neighborhood.
The house, when we bought it, was in pretty bad shape. We're not even living there now. It was not, needed a lot of, we knew that moving in, buying the house, that we weren't going to move there. We needed to do a lot of work, even just to make the existing house livable. We'd have to probably gut it. So yeah, then we met with our architect and, you know, explained to him our needs, our big family. Her mother lives with us. We take care of her mom, and her mom actually also takes care of our kids. She's, you know, caretaker for the kids. That's part of the reason for the house, you know, so many, the rooms and all that. And one of them to be my office. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, Nancy explained it, you know, really well. And yeah, that's us.
Okay, thanks. Well then, commissioners, any questions for the applicant?
None.
So I have a couple. I'm curious, and maybe this is a question for your architect. Staff, Nancy commented on the roof materials that the dormers were proposed to be a different material than the rest. And I kind of agree on first impression anyway. Could you explain what you were thinking or what your architect was thinking to do something like that with the dormer treatment?
Yeah, I think we'll defer to the architect on that one. Augusto. You shut the door.
I'm sorry.
I was asking about the reason you've chosen to have a different roof material on the dormers than the main roof of the house.
Okay, so you could hear me? Okay.
Yes, yes, we hear you.
I guess you can't see me for some reason.
Nope.
Let's see here. I don't know why. The reason was just to have it, the elevations, break it up a little bit. I thought it would add interest to the design. It was the main point. Make it more of a, give it a more country character, what a farmer might do with extra material to add to his house. To me, it feels like it's a plus for the design. But if that's going to be if you feel that it's going to be a distraction, that's something that could be changed.
You know, it's a matter of opinion, but mine would be that I think a consistent shingle roof would be more pleasing, would feel more consistent.
That's something that we could accomplish. Change.
And I guess that's the only thing that I have as a question. No other questions from commissioners? Okay, then with that, we can open to public comment. Nancy, if there is anyone from the public who would like to speak, public have up to 3 minutes each for comments.
Anyone would like to make a comment, please use the raise hand function. There are 2 raised hands. I'm bringing in Keenan Hemja.
Hi, we're neighbors, next door neighbors to Aaron and Jason. And we just wanted to say they are wonderful neighbors. And we have no objections to what they're trying to accomplish. So we just want to say that we are in favor of their remodel / addition at this time.
When you say your next door neighbor, what direction are you in?
So we are just south of them. Right next, sorry, we are just south.
You are losing you just froze up for a second. You said you're south of them, so kind of around the corner of Ivanhoe, is that right?
Ivanhoe, immediately south of them.
Okay, and your plans are north up, so is that right? So we can figure that out. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I am bringing in Michael Casey Bradley next.
Hello, commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Hello, Nancy. It's a pleasure. My name is Michael Casey Bradley. I was a city planner for Oakland for 15 years and a friend of the family, as well as I know the architect. I feel like the staff report really covered everything. I thought Nancy did an excellent job. She hit home on the context, how the addition relates to the topography, and I think the project is very compatible, would not cause any impacts. We've gone through a few versions. We wanted to get it right, so we had multiple meetings, and we hope that you support the project. And if possible, we'd love approval tonight. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Casey.
There's another raised hand, Alexandra Theodosi.
Hello, I'm Alexandra Theodosi. I live at 1790 Ivanhoe, right across from the house of the Gilmans. And I have no objections. I support the project. I think that it's going to update the look of the neighborhood and really bring it, like it needed it. And I think that this is a good project. So thank you.
No,
Thank you.
again, you're downhill. You're the one right across the street immediately. Thank you.
There are no additional raised hands.
Okay. Well, if the applicant would like to rebut any of the comments received, you're welcome to. I don't know that you need to.
We'll pass. Thank you.
Okay.
We're all right.
Okay, very, very good. Then with that, we are open to commissioner comments. Nancy, I think some of the public comment people are still in as panelists, and but they're of course welcome to continue to listen. So commissioner comments, does anybody here really want to start? Well, then Eugene, would you like to?
Sure, I can start. I have no any issues with this application. We welcome the Fleming and is that Gilman, right? Gilman family. But so the staff report recommended the tree. I would also agree, and I think as long as it's not in the public right away or anything. And again, other commissioners might have other say, but we have been asking for some coverages here and there, so that would be something to consider. The asphalt element on the cupola or the areas that we were talking about. I'm with also John and Nancy on that as well. Just that one homogeneous field might be a better impact and simplify your motif. I do appreciate Augusto trying to articulate further, but I think that simplicity might be better. I don't know, it's just my opinion, but I totally support this project. That's it.
Thanks, Eugene.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kristen, would you like us to speak?
Sure. So I think that the design is really well considered and in scale with all the elements within it, as well as responding well to the site. I think it's a big improvement to the house that's there. So I think that's a great addition to the neighborhood. It seems like your neighbors also appreciate the advances you're proposing. So I think that makes us all feel confident that there won't be any neighbor concerns. I don't mind the two different roofing materials. I could go either way on it. For me, that's not a decision that would make my approval or disapproval go in one way or another. So I think it's fine if it's something that feels like a nice sort of accent on it. But I think overall the massing and the scale work very well with the site and the overall development.
Thanks, Kristen. Glenn?
I generally concur. Well, first of all, on the roof, I'm indifferent. It could go either way. I can see the reason to have it homogeneous, but I can also see the reason to change it out. My first impression is that when I went out to the site it's really close to the road. And when I look at the story poles, which I usually don't pay a lot of attention to, it seems like it's towering over. But the interesting thing is the neighbor that is across that would have no privacy in their front yard, which is basically their driveway anyway, had no concerns about it. I do have some concerns, however, that, when I look at like the master bedroom, you have probably almost 9 feet of clear story in there. And I'm just wondering if the sloping of the roof would be more appropriate. It would be an energy saving and I realize you're under the 35 feet, but because of you're up on the hill looking down on the properties below, and you're so close to the street, it makes it seem really massive to me. When I look at the architectural renderings, the elevations and all that, I like them. I like most of the color scheme. I do have some questions about the white trim because this is a hillside district and we have really almost eliminated white trim almost every project for the last 3 years that I'm aware of. So I'm just wondering if we're setting up a precedence here that if we allow white trim, although with the gray, the color of the gray background, I do think that the white trim is probably the most appropriate. I think maybe we need to make sure that it's just not too stark, that it's a little creamier or not, not too contrasting. That's what we tend to do on the other ones that have gone semi-white, is to have more of a creamy white color. I think a tree or more than one tree in the front would help soften that facade since it's so close to the street and there's basically nothing there at this point in time. Anything is fine. Anything that is approved by the city staff would be fine with me. There's quite a variety of trees in the backyard, but there's not much there in the front. And that's it. I would be able to approve this project tonight.
Thanks, Glenn. Armin?
Sure. So I start with the roof. I personally prefer the standing seam roof material because of the texture and the richness. Though I think the rusty or the corten color, it may not be the right pick because of the contrast with the shingle asphalt. I like the precedents and the inspirational images you are showing on sheet A0.1. I think the darker gray, that's a better color if you want to go with the standing seam. In terms of the elevations and the massing, I think the project has been designed pretty well and consistent with our design guidelines. One comment I have is about the size of some of the windows, especially elevations 3 and 4 on sheet A2.2. I think there are some windows that they are not consistent with the others and they're kind of like jumping up and down. So I would just recommend the architect to take a look at that and just maybe brings more consistency in terms of the size of the windows. Other than that, I think the project has been designed pretty well and I'm in support of the proposed scheme.
Thanks, Armin. My comments, just first regarding the roof, I think there is not unanimity amongst us regarding that, and I don't think any of us have a super strong opinion on it. We just have some preferences. To Armin's comment regarding the color of the roof, I think Armin was suggesting that the color of the metal and the color of the the composition shingles should be more similar, but the way I read it, they kind of are. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I would say that we're not giving you a strong direction either way on the roof material. Regarding the massing, I really appreciate that you have put the height away from the street. That's clearly your intent, and I think that makes a difference. You know, the slope of the roof when you're looking up at it from the street, it will recede, and there is not a lot of height right out near the front of the house. So I think that's very positive. I think there is room for refinement in the fenestration. I don't know if you feel that that's, you know, really fully resolved yet or not. But I would recommend rather than insist that there's some development there. And I would agree with Glenn and others regarding some trees in the front as a good idea. And that's something that could be worked through with staff. But I too am ready to support the project. So with that, Nancy has drafted a resolution, which she mentioned is just to have the standard conditions of approval and nothing special. Is there a commissioner who has a motion in that regard?
Well, do we want to make a decision on the roof, or are we going to leave it up to staff or their final decision? And also the fenestrations. Armin and you don't like it, but actually I like the idea that the headers are not all in line with each other and that it shows some variety. So I actually would like to not see the fenestrations changed. It's one of the things that I thought were one of the better elements that were there.
Well, so my opinion is if we don't have a consistent substantial objection, then I think we leave it to the applicant to continue in the direction that they've shown us.
Which I think means like they continue with it being staggered like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the applicant's and the designer's preference, we have no significant objection.
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the standard resolution.
I'll second.
And with the trees added, with the
Thank
trees
you.
added.
Yeah.
Trees are important.
Thank you. So a motion and a second, all in favor, Glenn,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Armin,
Aye.
Eugene,
Aye.
and John is aye. Okay, there's a 14-day approval period, so don't start quite yet, but I don't think you'll have any trouble. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And with that, other business, we need an ARC volunteer for this Friday, the 29th.
I can do it.
Thanks, Glenn.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. Nobody else is opposing.
Too quick.
Well, you can, I won't take it away from you if you insist.
Are there any commissioner reports this evening?
None.
I would just like to comment that I noticed in a San Francisco AIA publication that Kristen's firm has been recognized with a couple of design awards in the unbuilt category. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Nice.
And if there's nothing else from commissioners, staff, liaison reports, do we have anything?
I did follow up on the possible meeting of commissioners outside to discuss past projects on whether that has what the approval is what you had envisioned when they are actually built and constructed, and it's determined that it would need to be agendized if there is a quorum.
Okay.
Fortunately, yes.
Agendized and open to the public?
Yes.
Interesting. And we envision something so informal.
We can do that, right? And if no one comes, or I mean, I don't think we mind if people come, but I
No, I
imagine no one's
suppose we
that
wouldn't.
interested.
I don't know if we have to, open it to public comment and all the rest that we do in our typical agendas.
Yeah, we can We
No,
can
you don't have to
agendize
do that.
something.
I've done this before in another city. You just put specificity into the agenda or the purpose of the meeting and let the 300 or the entire community know that this is happening, because transparency is a very important form of what we practice here, right? Democracy and community outreach. So you don't have to do all these things, but if you want to, you can do that as well. And one thing we did in the other city was we started from either City Hall or like this, in this case could be Zoom meeting, say now we're marching to that site. And our meeting is adjourned. If you want to come with us, you can come with us, that kind of thing. But it's really called transparency. That's really it. If we can be transparent, that's the key. We're all, covered as a city. But if we don't do that, then that's where people get to sense that something's happening behind the scene. We don't want to do that at all. Yeah.
So do we have a list of projects we would like to see?
Right, you might want to.
I mean, I have one. I had the Brown Street one.
I'd say I second that one, Glenn. I really want to see that together with you, Glenn.
Have you looked at it?
Yeah, oh no, I'm so, sorry to say, a little bit disappointed, right? Okay, let's take a look at it. I'm with you, Glenn. Let's check that out.
We also talked about the possibility of
Woodbury.
Woodbury Highlands, the newer buildings there. I'm not sure. Are they far enough along in construction that they're ready to look at the new ones? I don't think so.
Well, you got time limit too. You don't want to, many projects, but I think maybe the two.
I was thinking of a couple as a reasonable kind of early evening when we have late daylight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You want to see the Brown Street one. We're glad and everyone here.
So I'm very open to it. So to agendize it, that's 2 weeks in advance, Nancy?
Agendas need to be posted at least 72 hours in advance.
Oh.
And so if you provide the applicant or those properties that you would like to visit, and then the date and time, I can prepare the agenda.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, I'm not certain of the state of construction of Woodbury, whether it's ready for this kind of review.
Well, I don't know which building you want. I mean, there's about 3 buildings that are pretty well constructed. We don't have to be on the inside, I don't think.
No. Three of the new ones that we reviewed just last year.
Well, I don't know that the ones that you last reviewed, that the bluish one or whatever, I don't think that's constructed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. There are several that are constructed further to the west.
Yes.
That have been built and occupied for a couple of years.
Oh, no, that's Woodbury 1. But Woodbury 2, there's at least 3. I mean, from looking from Monte Diablo Boulevard, there's at least looks like 3 of them that are there that are well along on construction.
I mean, are we ready to look at dates? Is there a way, Nancy, to do this offline to propose some dates and have us confirm?
I can coordinate, yes.
Do that.
That would be very nice. Thank you. So
yeah, I mean, Eman Brown is probably a couple weeks out from the finished landscaping and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So we'd be looking at it without some of the finishes.
Well, so maybe we want to wait another month before we do it.
Yeah.
So Nancy, you can propose dates in late May or early June.
Okay.
I should just say that the week of May 16th, I will be on vacation. Which does not include a DR.
Are you missing your, what is it, the 21st? Are we on the 20th?
No. The DRC meetings are the prior and the following week. So.
Oh, okay. Going anywhere interesting?
Hawaii.
Oh.
20th wedding anniversary, and the kids have agreed to go.
I'm going to Budapest on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's where half of my family was from, 100 years ago.
Well, I'll say hi if I see you.
Okay. All right, then with that, I think we are done.
Okay.
So meeting is adjourned and thank you very much, everybody.
Bye, you
Okay,
guys.
okay.
Bye, everyone.